Welcome back to Your Arts and thanks again for joining me. So I want to show you how to use what you've been learning. Let's get to that. So before we get into how to apply what we've been learning, let's just recap so we're all on the same page. So I asked you to go away and learn what I like to call the core four. That's the 20s, the 19s, the 18s and the 17s. Now, unless you're absolutely brand new to the game, you probably already know the scores on the 20s. So if you see a player and they hit two singles and a treble, you're not really adding that up. You know that's 100 because you're familiar with it. It's in your comfort zone. It's all about your comfort zone, right? So if you know it, you don't have to learn it. If you're not at that stage, keep going and you will get to that stage soon. I promise you. So we can cancel one of the four numbers out. Cancel that 20. Just need to learn the other three. Now, I recommended you learn the 1 all the way through to the 9 of the number. But again, you don't really need to learn all those, right? All 9, because you know what one is, obviously. And 2 should be, you know, it's the same as a double, okay? And 3 is the same as a treble. Now, and that is the minimum expectation that I've got for people watching this. You have to know the values. If you're wanting to mark, therefore score, you need to know what the values are, right? Or else how are you going to move forward? But don't forget, you're not really going to see the double. You will see double sometimes hit on scoring, but generally not. So you know, 2 is going to be 2 in a single number, and 3, as well as being in the treble, can be 3 singles. When I first started, obviously I know the treble 19 is 57, but when I saw 3 darts, you know, in the single 19, I would add them up separately for some stupid reason. Isn't it crazy what the mind does to you? But obviously 3 is the same as 1 in the treble, so that's 57. Okay. So when I practice this, I don't ever do the 1, 2 and 3 because I just know them. So I do the 4 all the way through to the 9. And that's the level you need to be at. Okay. That's all I expect. So that's pretty much recapped what we've done today. So let's kind of learn how to apply this. Okay, so I think the best way to show you how to apply this is to go through a few scenarios, okay? And we're going to be approaching what I like to call the small and the big calculator, okay? So, say you're marking for someone and you see, and they hit the 2 20s and then they go into the 1. Okay, you're going to see that a lot, okay? But it's comfortable. It's in your wheelhouse. This is where I like to call the small calculator comes into play, okay? You're adding, because it's all about where do you start adding up with these scores? Do you do it from the beginning? Is it natural that you just to add it up from the beginning? Maybe, okay? So this one, you don't really have to. I mean, that small calculator is all you need. The power of that is all you need to know what the answer is. There's no delay. You just know it, okay? 41, like easy peasy, all right? Let's do another scenario. Same thing. They've hit 2 trebles. And then they hit a third, 2 singles, they hit a third. That's 60. Again, it's in our wheelhouse where we're not having to add up. Small calculator is all we need to engage to be able to call that score, right? Now let's just do another scenario. They hit the single 20, and the dart kind of blocks. It blocks the pathway, so they go down to the most common next step, which is the cover shot on the 19s, and they're throwing well. They hit a single 19 and then they hit a treble 19. Should you add this up as 20, then add 19, then add 57, which is treble 19? Not in my opinion. This is where the big calculator comes into play. This is where we kind of like, it's all about your comfort zone, and we're trying to make more and more scores into our comfort zone so we can stay in this small calculator idea, okay? So we've seen this when this happens and I go, right, this is this has not gone to plan. What do I know so far? This is what I ask myself, and it all happens within a split second. And I go, well, this is 4 19s, 1 in the treble and 1 in the single. That's 4 19s, and I've gone away and I know 4 19s are 76. I absolutely know it. And then if this is 20, I know that's 96. So we've got 96 scored. It's really easy, right? So this is what this homework has not been for nothing. You've gone away and learned the values, hopefully, some of you, hopefully. And if you know that, then you can really break down. You know more than you realize. And I will talk about how you go about practicing this shortly, all right? But let's do another scenario. Say they hit treble 5, okay? And then they go down, and again, they're having a good day, and they hit a single 19 and a treble 19, okay? Should you add up 15, then 19, then 57? No, for me, I go, right, what do I know? I know that's 76. I just know it. Now, this is 15. That might be a bit awkward to add up for some people. So with numbers, I recommend you either add up to the nearest 10 or the nearest 20. In this case, it would be the nearest 20, right? So this is 76. And add 20 more on, that's 96. But of course, just before I call it, I know I'm taking 5 off because it's 20, not it's 15, not 20. And so you take 5 off that, it's 91. Okay, a little bit of practice, and it's really, really easy. Okay, so this is all about when we start adding up, and I know a lot of people start adding up, and when I first started doing it, I would add up from the very beginning, and then I started to relax, and when my scores got one of my kind of comfort zone, for what I keep saying that, but when that started to build, I was, I didn't have to think much for a lot of the scores, and then when it was like people going into different numbers, I'd always ask, what do I know? And this is where learning, like, learning these numbers or 1 all the way through to 9 of the number and being fluid at that number. Let's be honest, we're learning 4 all the way through to 9, aren't we? We're not learning 1, 2, and 3 like I mentioned before, but learn those fluidly, and then you'll realize you know more than you think you do. Okay, so this is where we're trying to get it where we're always using our small calculator, and then of course when things go slightly wrong, that's when the big calculator comes in. And don't get me wrong, there's many times when someone will, especially people who are not very good, we can argue, this is a journey, learning darts, learning to throw. Okay, it can be treble 16, treble 3 and 6, that might be to hard to get your brain around, but we can practice scenarios like that another time. So that's pretty much this concept of the small calculator and the big calculator. Let's try and use our small calculator where possible. Okay, so now we're going to go into learning some new shapes and start building on our kind of portfolio. So let's learn some new scores that we can add to our practice routine. We're only going to cover about 4. We don't want to do too many, at least to begin with. So single 20, single 19, a single 18, like chasing it around the board. You see this all the time. Pros are often going for the treble of the number, but you'll see a lot of people and they'll just hit those single numbers. But that's 57. Okay, and I just remembered it. No, I'm not adding it up in any way. I just know that it's the same as treble 19. Okay, 57. And once I knew that stuck with me. So that's all I need to know that a 20, an 18, and a 19 is 57. Okay. Now the next 3, or in fact the last 3, that's all we'll do for this video because it is getting on. You need to know a treble 20 and a treble 19. Okay, you need to know a treble 20 and a treble 18, and you need to know a treble 20 and a treble 17. Don't worry, you can learn them in your own time by all means, like treble 18 and treble 19, but for now, treble 20, treble 19, treble 20, treble 18, treble 20, and treble 17. Now, how to remember this? This helped me. So because treble 20 is 60, and in this case treble 19 is 57, we're going to get at least 110 or more. Okay, so just know it's going to be in the teens. It's going to be 100 and something in past 110. Okay, now the number itself, like 57, helps me work it out. So it steals this last number, so it's going to be 117. So treble 20 and treble 19, treble 20 and treble 19 is 117. Treble 20 and treble 18, because this is 54, it's going to be 114. It steals that number, 114. Okay, and treble 20 and treble 17, because treble 17 is 51, it's going to be 111. Okay, so that's how I remember whenever I see treble 20 and treble 18, I know it's 114 because this is 54. It steals that number. Okay, you have to just get your mind around it, and there's a little bit of work involved. But all of a sudden, you'll have that down in your wheelbase, okay? You'll have that down in your mental Rolodex, and we're going to start to build on that from the next video, okay? Now, let me show you how to practice this. So how to practice all this? Okay, so what I've shown you, the core 4 and then those few scores, I just visualize it. So on my way to work, I'll say, well, let's see if I can get through the core 4. I don't do the 20s because I know them. Okay, so I might start on the 19th, but I don't start until 4 of the number. I don't do 1, 2, or 3 because I know them. So I might say 4 19s, 76, 4 18s, 72, 4 17s, 68. Okay, and then go all the way through to the numbers, visualizing them, of course. And when you see them, visualize them. So like 4 19s is a treble and a single, that's 4. Okay, so definitely visualize it because you're going to see the dart in that area and you want to be instantly recalling that answer. Okay, so you do the core 4, and then the finishers, I literally just get rid of that. The finishers, I will go, I'm not covered that many, but I will see a single 20, single 19, a single 18 in my mind's eye. I know that's 57, so I'll just visualize it and say out loud 57. And then the last ones I showed you, a single 20 and a treble 20, a treble 19, 117. Okay, single 20 and treble 20 and treble 18, 114, treble 20 and treble 17, 111. I'll just visualize them. Okay, so I just see them on a dartboard, or I do actually visualize it on a dartboard as I'm kind of like driving. Keep it safe, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's how I practice that. Now, how to actually go ahead and practice when the actual scoring and putting some of this into practice this is a beautiful thing about what we've got. We've got a wealth of practice online, haven't we? Just go to YouTube your favorite dart player, okay, and get ready with the pause button though. So as soon as you see as soon as you see the final dart being thrown, pause it, because the caller will ruin your day, and they're so quick. Very rarely, and even if they have to, someone throws crazy scores, they might take a heartbeat to score just 1 second, but you don't want them to ruin your day. So pause it as soon as you see that last dart being thrown, and then try and get it within 5 seconds, and then if you can, try and get it within 3 seconds. And there's times when your small calculator will be all you need because you know the finish, and the more practice you get, the more finishes you'll know, and you won't have to pause. You'll just be able to call it at the same speed as the caller on the TV. Okay, so that's how I recommend you practice it. Watch your favorite player play, and as soon as that last dart hits the board, pause it and try and call it as quick as you possibly can. Okay, but don't compare yourself to the guys on TV because they're too good. All right, so don't 5 seconds to begin with is all you really need, and if you can carve that down to 3 seconds, then you're doing really, really well. So that's how I recommend you practice it. Okay, you practice the core 4, you practice the finishers, you do it regularly. If you can do it daily, do it. Good shower time, washing your hair, get through it, and also practice actually scoring by watching a real game of darts. Okay, so thanks for watching. It's quite hard to teach someone a skill when you know how to do it and you're trying to break it down to something tangible for people to learn, but I think this will develop the more I do it. But let me know how you're getting on with it. Coming next time, I'm going to be starting like a series, numbers below 60, because I never really cover that, and obviously this is where we're going to be in a lot of the time, and we need to know we can implement some of the formulas I mentioned previously, how to finish on double 8s and double 4s. But anyway, so we're going to go through that, and then there's going to be more scoring, more marking. Thanks again for watching. Take care for now.